Thanks, Riaz. Good morning at 6:30. Just as the tax deadline nears, the Canada Revenue Agency has temporarily cut off public access to its electronic services over security concerns. The agency says it shut down access to protect the security of taxpayer information. However, reports unconfirmed by the CRA say the shutdown is due to the newly uncovered cyber threat known as Heartbleed, which went undetected for more than 2 years. Computer security experts say it has exposed millions of passwords, credit card numbers, and other sensitive information. This is, of course, a busy time of year for the tax agency as people file returns electronically and track the progress of refunds, that is, online. One day after firing Mike Gillis, the owners of the Vancouver Canucks are preparing to hold a news conference this morning, and rumors are flying that former captain and perennial fan favorite Trevor Linden will be stepping into the front office. Greg Harper is live at Rogers Arena with more on this. Greg.
Good morning, Jody. Yeah, it's quite the rumor. We first heard about it early yesterday morning, and this rumor was out even before the announcement was made that the Canucks president GM Mike Gillis had been fired. And this rumor that Trevor Linden will be named a new president of the Vancouver Canucks has only gained momentum since we first heard about it. Francesco Aquilini will be addressing the media this morning. He will, of course, be talking about the firing of Mike Gillis, and perhaps he will be announcing Trevor Linden as the new team president. If he does do that, what do you think of the former Canucks captain in that role?
He's obviously got a great rapport with the players. He's well respected in the city, with the players, with everyone.
I think it's awesome. I mean, it works for the Penguins, it works for the Avalanche. It seems that past hockey players for the clubs seem to do good in the general manager roles, so I can't see why Trevor Linden, being a legend in Vancouver, would be any different.
I think it will. It's a good decision. The fans like Trevor Linden. He's proven himself to be a good leader, and hopefully that translates into getting into the playoffs next season.
So the Aquilinis will be holding this press conference at Rogers Arena at 10:30 Pacific time, and you could see it live on Sportsnet. There'll be lots of people, Jody, obviously watching and listening to it.
You and myself included. Thank you very much. Greg Harper reporting live for us this morning from Rogers Arena. Thanks, Greg. It has become a dreaded annual event at the Vancouver School Board, balancing the budget. And just like in other recent years, cuts are coming. Chair Patty Backus says the board has a $13.5 million shortfall for the coming school year. The VSB's continuing education program is again on the chopping block, based out of John Oliver High School. The elementary school band and strings program is also again on the table. Dozens of jobs could be lost, including school support staff and specialist teachers.
Each year that we consider this cuts, it gets more and more difficult because we have the number of years before where we've taken away so many things. So we're really at the point where anything that isn't nailed down is at risk.
The board has scheduled 4 public consultation meetings before it has to make a decision at the end of the month. A stolen minivan is at the center of Vancouver's second traffic death of the year. The minivan's driver was killed when the vehicle collided with a bus at East Broadway in St. Catharines yesterday afternoon. Shortly before that, the minivan had allegedly been stolen from Metrotown in Burnaby. 5 bus passengers were taken to hospital for minor injuries, but the driver was not injured.
We don't know the speeds at this point. If you look at the damage here, the collision was fairly violent. The bus, we believe, was going at a fairly slow speed because it is approaching a stop quite close by, probably in the 30-kilometer type of range.
It appeared the minivan was heading west when it collided with the bus. The busy stretch of Broadway was closed between Clark and Fraser for a number of hours, but reopened in time for the afternoon rush. It would be a massive upset if John Horgan is not the next leader of the BC New Democrats. Horgan's biggest competition is now out of the race. Mike Farnworth has bowed out just 1 month after declaring his leadership aspirations. The move leaves fellow MLA John Horgan as the only person in the running to succeed Adrian Dix. The majority of the NDP caucus has already been supporting Horgan. If no one else enters the race, he will be acclaimed NDP leader next month.
Team Horgan is going to roll through May, roll through June, roll right up to 2017, and we're going to beat the BC Liberals because it's a time for a government that is balanced and puts people before the vested interests of a select few.
Adrian Dix announced plans to step down as leader following last year's election defeat. He's remaining an MLA with the next provincial vote scheduled for 2017. Lawyers are turning up the heat on Oscar Pistorius at his murder trial in South Africa. Today, prosecutors showed footage of Pistorius shooting a watermelon with a powerful gun. In the video, the former Olympian can be heard saying the melon is softer than brain and calling the gun a real zombie stopper. Lawyers also displayed graphic images of Riva Steenkamp's head wounds on court screens. Pistorius refused to look, saying he's been there at the scene as the prosecution subjected him to more intense questioning.
Yeah, I've made a terrible mistake, and
you made a mistake.
That's correct.
You killed a person, that's what you did, isn't it?
I made a mistake, my lady.
You killed Riva Steenkamp, that's what you did.
I made a mistake, my lady.
You're repeating it 3 times. What was your mistake?
My mistake is that I took Riva's life, my lady.
You killed her. You shot and killed her. Won't you take responsibility for that?
I did, my lady.
The world's biggest automaker has issued a massive consumer warning today. Toyota is recalling 27 models for a variety of problems. No injuries or crashes have been reported in relation to the recalls, but there have been 2 fires connected to a defective engine starter. 2.3 million vehicles in North America are affected by the recall, with the models being produced between 2004 and 2013. Also being recalled are the Pontiac Vibe and the Subaru Trezia, which are made in conjunction with Toyota. The company will notify all affected owners with a letter in the mail.